Insurance agents from around the world, welcome to the Insurance Guys podcast. My name is Scott Howell, your fearless host and leader, insurance agency owner and insurance specialist for I Protect Insurance and Financial Services, based out of Huntsville, Alabama. And before we get started on today's episode, please help me welcome. He is a 6'3" sophomore from Mobile, Alabama, parade first team All-American, Rivals 5-star recruit. He is a fantastic insurance agent and a great American. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome the incomparable Mr. Bradley Flowers. How are you, Bradley?
I'm fantastic. I just actually reverse Google image searched your shoes because I'm going to buy me some just like those.
Cool. Yeah, I'm kind of hip, 53, hip, wear all what the hip kids wear. Yeah. You know how that goes. Bradley, we finished up our last podcast. We'd said I love you. I said it to you. And then we let the guest off the program, and the doors, the two huge Game of Thrones doors open, and Kenneth, our friend Kenneth, is standing in the door. He's standing in the Game of Thrones door. And he says, Scott, there's a auto mechanic that wants to see you out here. Now, for those of you that are lifelong listeners to the podcast, about 2 episodes ago, I told you that I limped into Mobile last night. My car wasn't working right. Don't know what was wrong with it. Could barely get here, but by golly, I got here. And Gio, our friendly parking lot mechanic who now has my American Express card and is probably on Amazon right now buying.
Did you really?
He's got it. Yeah. He comes in here and he's got his little machine that they put in the diagnostic port, and he says, well, you want the good news or the bad news? And I'm a bad news first guy. I always want to hear bad news first. He said, well, bad news is, that rattling that you're hearing under your car? Well, that's your alternator. You got a bearing that's loose in that alternator. Let me look that up right here on autoparts.com, see what that's going to run you. That's $569 plus labor. The good news is what was causing your car to misfire on the way down here is you need 3 spark plugs, and those won't be very much. They're only about $20 a piece. So, guys, as it stands here today, minus labor, which I'm about to get my head ripped off, I'm at about, what's that, Bradley? You're the mathematician. It's about $615, somewhere in that range.
Probably looking at least another $600 in labor.
Yeah. So here comes the great part of the story. Bradley's kind of back behind me watching this, and I give the guy my American Express card, which he's just booked an Airbnb in Montana on. And I said, Gio, let me walk out in the parking lot with you. So we walk out together. Now we're bonding. I've given him my American Express card, and he's going to go buy a bunch of stuff to fix my car and charge me $1,000 in labor. And he looks at me when we get out in the parking lot, Bradley. He says, I just called the Audi dealership and quit. And I said, do what? And he goes, well, I was full-time over at Audi as a mechanic, but I can't make no damn money over there. I just called them a minute ago on my cell phone and quit.
Wait.
What do you say to that? What do you say to that?
There's a lot to unpack here.
I swear to God, this just happened 30 minutes ago.
It's never a good sign when you give someone your American Express card and they say, okay, I'm quitting my job.
No, I just quit. I called, his words, not mine. I called 5 minutes ago and I quit.
Does he think? So this guy was already here working on a car. Scott pulls in. He's like, hey,
my car's screwed.
Hopefully he doesn't think that's going to happen on every job. Wow.
Homeboy just called Audi and quit.
That's hilarious.
On the spot right before we quit that last podcast.
Wow.
Anyway, you had a story to tell. Bradley, I got to
Well, this will be a quick story. So I've been saving this one too. I don't think I told you this.
Oh, no.
So when we record our podcast, we record on a Rodecaster Pro 2.
We're kind of a big deal, same thing Joe Rogan does. But anyway.
And we have the memory card that is on that is a micro SD card. So it's about a centimeter, maybe even less. It's a very small card. And so Johnny and I have figured out this cadence where I don't send him all of the episodes when we get done batching at once. I send them every he did it this morning. Every Monday he pings me, hey, need this week's episode. I come pull the card out of the board, stick it in my computer, transfer the file, put the card back.
Takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago, I needed the card at my house to send the episode. I think it was like end of the day, something to that effect. And I didn't have time to send it, so I took it home, did it from the house. Anything important in my vehicle that is small that I cannot lose, I keep it in the cup holder. P.O. box key to storage unit.
It's just where important stuff goes.
If I'm at a networking event, somebody gives me a business card, I put it in the cup holder. Okay. Nobody hardly ever rides with me in my front seat. So the cup holder is mine.
No.
All right. So some of y'all may remember I talked about this on the podcast a few years ago. So we had a guy that would come here and detail our vehicles. It was like an employee benefit, and they would come detail everybody's vehicles, and he was super cheap. So cheap that he went out of business. He would detail everybody's vehicles for like $600. It's like 10 vehicles. Now he wasn't doing full but it was good enough.
I think he washed mine one day.
He
when
did.
I was here.
He did.
Yeah. Sure
we
did.
actually timed it right where you were here, so we just threw Scott's in there too. Well, so he went out of business, and so we ended up we don't do that anymore. And so my vehicle and my wife's vehicle had both gotten where they needed detailing, right? And so my sister-in-law, we're riding with my sister-in-law to dinner, and this guy exclusively dealt on Venmo. And she happened to see on Venmo where somebody Venmo'd this guy for car detailing. So I texted him, I'm like, hey, are you back in business? He's like, well, I'm only doing weekends. I was like, sweet, I would love for you to come to my house on a Saturday and detail mine and my wife's car. Okay, cool. So he comes to the house, details the vehicles, no big deal. I didn't send Johnny the episode on Monday. On Tuesday, he's like, hey, I need this week's episode. I'm like, oh, that's in the cup holder of my car.
Oh, no.
I'll give you a guess what happened.
Sucked it up in the damn vacuum.
Sucked it up in the vacuum.
You find it?
6 weeks of episodes sucked up in the vacuum. And I called Laurel first, and I said, you are not going to believe what happened. And she said, Scott is going to murder you. Because...
Is this a joke?
Not only is it...
Wait, is this a joke?
No. Not only is it the fact that we've recorded these episodes and we don't have them, but you take way more effort to come down here than I do. Thankfully, our phenomenal videographer, Rand, records backup, which I get him to do.
Holy
on
shit.
Every single episode. So anytime... lesson for all of you, whether you're doing content creation or whatever, you always have a backup.
Yeah.
Always have a backup. But so we were able to save the day. But yeah, so I called Johnny. I'm like, Johnny, you're not going to believe what happened. He's like, what? And I told him that's the car detail guy sucked up the SD card. And the problem was I discovered it on Tuesday, cleaned the car on Saturday.
Yeah.
If I'd have realized it right away, we could have, but I wasn't even going to attempt to get it from him.
Yeah, right.
So, so yeah, that did happen. That, where all of our episodes were, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm getting hot just thinking about the 12 hours of driving and the.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we've got a special guest on for you today. I've got so many questions. He's got so many answers. I want to give him the introduction that he's always deserved. He was born and raised in Anderson, South Carolina, and he currently resides in Lexington, South Carolina. He is married to the beautiful Caitlin. Did I say that right? Caitlin?
You did. You did.
Absolutely. And he is a graduate of the University of South Carolina, the real USC.
That's right.
I got to ask
Their
you.
football season's going about like ours is.
Bradley, first question when we finish this incredible introduction. 19 vehicles in 19 years of driving.
Interesting.
We just put a pin in
And
that.
the Tesla was his favorite. I'm joking. I know it was.
He's been, listen to this, been with State Farm 2012 to 2014. Blue Lake Insurance 2016 to 2018. Mappus Insurance 2018 to 2024. And today, he is a partner of Mappus Insurance Agency, an independent insurance firm in South Carolina that specializes in both personal and business insurance. He is also the founder of Risk Advisor, an InsurTech SaaS tool, don't know what any of that is, that helps independent agents be more profitable in personal lines accounts. With Risk Advisor over the past 2 years, he has written over $1 million in personal lines insurance premium each year. And his goal is to help other independent agents write more profitable accounts. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound honor today to introduce to you first-time guest on the IGP, Mr. David Watson. How are you, David?
I'm good. I appreciate that intro. That was definitely something I've been looking forward to. I appreciate y'all having me on.
19 vehicles in 19 years. What in the fresh hell is going on?
Well, the craziest thing about that stat is if it was 5 years ago, it would have looked a lot worse. It was probably like 17 in 15 years or something like that. The ratio was I've slowly been catching up because I've been keeping my vehicles a little bit longer. But yeah, I used to bounce around on vehicles quite a bit. For a while there, I made some money, but then it kind of caught up to me.
So you're just a
It caught
guy.
up when you bought that Tesla.
You're just a guy that quickly tires from the vehicle you're driving, and somehow, some way in your mind, you think to yourself, I just want a new vehicle.
See, here's what's funny about that.
Is that what's happening?
How long have you and your wife been married?
13 years.
So let's pretend you're single and you put that in your Tinder bio that 19 vehicles, 19. That's a huge red flag.
Huge red flag.
This guy gets tired of stuff really quick.
That's right. So am I right though? Or do you have some kind of mental hiccup that you need therapy, that like a car, vehicle?
No, yeah, I mean, some of it is that definitely like, hey, a lot of it was I would get rid of a truck, go into a car and realize, hey, I'm a truck guy,
Right.
and realize that I've done that a couple times.
Been there.
One of them, you mentioned my wife and the Tinder profile, all that fun stuff. One of them, my wife told me that she always dreamed about driving away from her wedding in a Jeep Wrangler with the top down. So I bought a Jeep Wrangler. So
Did you have the ducks
I
on it?
sold the truck, got the Jeep Wrangler, used the difference in the money to pay for her engagement ring while getting her what she wanted to drive away in. So, but I used to have a lot of fun with like the Craigslist thing. And now with the kids and not having any spare time to do anything, it's now not something I enjoy doing nearly as much.
I love haggling with people on Facebook.
My wife bought this summer. I come home from work one day. My wife has paid $2,500 to a crackhead for a 2007 Jeep CJ7 Wrangler. I've never put the top on it. Top's off of it right now. Sits underneath one of our carports. And I said, "What'd you pay for this?" She said, $2,500. He's a crackhead.
Bought a lot of crack. He's
But
probably
by
dead
golly,
now.
hey, I went down. Title was clean.
There you go.
I got
There
a
you go.
tag for it.
Have I ever told you the story about my minivan?
No, you never have told me you had a minivan. Why
So-
aren't you driving one now?
So when I was at Alpha,
I got one out in the parking lot. I'll sell you right now for
whatever
if it ever comes back.
whatever that repair costs. So when I was at Alpha, the insurance people listening to this will appreciate this. When the captive companies have all these co-op programs, and even some of the independent companies like Progressive and whatnot. Alpha had a program, and I might get my facts slightly wrong on this, I don't remember exactly, but it was something like if you got a vehicle wrap Alpha would pay 50% of the wrap, pay for 50% of the wrap. Alpha had a deal with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Blue Cross Blue Shield would pay an additional 25%. So you could get a wrap, and it only cost you 25% of what it cost to get
That's
the wrap.
awesome.
Okay. So
what back then? What did a wrap cost? Because I bet it's double that now.
it was, I think it was, so let me,
Bradley, I think Alpha still does that because a bunch of these
Probably.
Alpha agents in North Alabama have their cars wrapped.
yeah. So I had I'll tell you in a second because it's going to come into play. So I had a good buddy that owned a used car dealership. And I'm not talking about like this is your stereotypical used
Like
car
a buy
dealership.
here, pay here.
Not
kind of,
not quite, but pretty, good buddy of mine. He was in my wedding. And he in fact, he wears a T-shirt that says "I buy shit boxes." That's his.
well, I got what if he wants to
yeah,
come over to
yeah.
Portal.
Yeah,
Understands
you
the
got a van
brand.
for him. So I tell him, I was like, "Hey, dude," I was like, we have this program. I was like, I've always wanted to buy a bigger vehicle that you could wrap very easily.
That gets
And-
6 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, and just park it all over town. It's not going to be a daily driver. Just
Yeah.
like move it to the Publix parking lot. Okay, 2 days later, move it over here.
That's
okay?
brilliant. That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
So I conspired this scheme, not a scheme, but this plan where the other agent in the office was going to split the wrap with me. Okay. Alpha is going to pay for 75%. And then we're going to wrap 3/4 of the car in Alpha. And the back was going to be advertising his car dealership. And then he was going to split that cost with us.
Wow.
So
This is complicated.
so 25% of 25%. It just so happened that one of his tenants in a shopping center that he owned was a car wrapper. So that guy was going to do it at cost. It was going to cost like $6,000. That kind of gives you
wow.
an idea. So $6,000, that's, $1,500 divided by 4. It was going to be like, So I said, look, here's what I need you to do. I'm going to when the next time you get just like the worst of the worst trade in, like you give these people $500 for this, all it has to do is crank, we'll get it wrapped. And he's like, all right, sweet. So like 2 weeks later, I walk into my lobby and a good friend of mine that worked for this guy is sitting in the lobby. I'm like, hey, Mike, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm waiting on something. I'm like, and about this time, dude, this freaking shit box pulls into the parking lot. And it is I don't even know the brand minivan that they had just gotten
right.
trade in from a family that homeschooled. It had never been cleaned ever. I rolled the window down and the window did not roll back up ever again. You know how Rolls Royce, the ceiling of a Rolls Royce has the stars?
Yeah.
It had that same thing, except it was bobby pins holding the upholstery. I mean, it
Damn
was,
right.
I never could have fathomed a worse, it was terrible. So I was like, all right, pull it in the back. So we pulled it in the back of the office, behind the office. There's like a little area where the employees parked and we parked it in the grass, right? I never got around to wrapping it. We just never, around that time was the time I decided I was going to quit. This was like 6 months before I quit. And so I forgot about it. And you know how if I put a billboard in front of your house, David, you're going to notice it immediately. But after about 6 months, you stop seeing it.
Yep.
I stopped seeing it. I stopped recognizing that it was there. Also, the parking lot was full of cars, right?
Yep.
So
and by the way, the window's down, so I'm sure it's raining in it about every 4 days.
Every day. Yeah. So about 2 months after I quit,
Son of a bitch.
I get a text from my manager who I was good friends with when I worked there. This was the last time I talked to him. And it said, Bradley, ... please come get your van. I left it there. I didn't even think about it. I just left it there. So I texted my buddy that owned the car dealership. I was like, hey, look, man, I'm,
transitioning.
well, I'd already quit. I'm like, I probably don't need to show my face around here. Would you mind going and getting it? Sure. Didn't crank. So he had to tow it away. It was a whole thing. Anyway, That's my car
Unbelievable.
wrap story.
So David, 19 cars, 19 years leads to the most important question on everyone's mind that's watching on YouTube and listening to this podcast. Of the 19 vehicles that you have driven, which one holds the closest and dearest spot to your heart?
That's a great question. The most fun was an '06 Mustang GT that I had as a freshman in college. My the reason I got that one was I let a buddy of mine borrow my truck freshman year of college to take his girlfriend home. She lived at a different school. And the whole reason he didn't have his car with him was because of the fact that he was rushing and they were making him run errands. So he's like, I'm just leaving my car so that way I can't do things for him. And I told him that night, I was like, do not drive back. You're leaving at 10 o'clock at night. It's a 4-hour round trip. Just come back tomorrow. And as he drove off, I knew, like, I had a feeling. I was like, I'm never seeing that truck again. And get a call the next morning from my dad freaking out because the cops had called him and said that they found the truck flipped over on the interstate and didn't tell him that it wasn't me in the car.
Was he okay?
Yeah, it completely flipped. Axle split because it landed straight on the wheels, and he had a scratch on his cheek. That was it.
Progressive said it could be fixed.
Yeah, well, so his dad owns a car dealership, so he's like, tell me what you want, we'll find it at cost, we'll make it right. And so I'd always wanted a Mustang GT, so that's how I got the Mustang GT. The one that probably is the one that I wish I'd never gotten rid of was a 2016 Ram 1500. I actually bought it 2 weeks after I started with Mappus, after I merged my scratch agency into them, actually had a paycheck again. So naturally I immediately went out and got a car note. But
Sure.
that was the first one that I held for over a year. I ended up holding it for 2 years. But that one's probably the ones especially because it was paid off when I sold it. I wish I'd never gotten rid of that truck.
So one of my agents' husbands, Brandon, HVAC guy, Marine Corps, same time I was in, about a month ago, goes through his fifth interview, gets a job as an HVAC maintenance guy at all the Google facilities in the Southeast, gets like a double, triple pay bump. Friday, so today is, what is today, Monday? Friday, I pull up to the Athens office right around lunch, and he had taken her to lunch. And he's walking out of the office, and he gets in a brand spanking new Ford Mustang with all the fixings on it. Just like you said, that money was burning a hole in his pocket. Well, he had to go get that brand new Mustang.
Yep.
He cranked it. I was like, yep. Somebody done got him a raise, got him a new car. Hey, David, I got lots of questions for you today.
Yeah.
You started in 2012, merged your agency. Where are you today? What are you doing today? I mean, I know what you're doing, but are you spending more time? Are you selling policies and really in working in the agency, or are you screwing around with that, but really you're focused more on the risk advisor side?
Yeah, I am a full-time risk advisor. I stepped out of my day-to-day role with the agency February of last year. So February 2024. We sold Mappus back in 2021, so it was near the end of our earnout. But I still work with a Ford, the company we sold it to, in a tech advisory role when they need things like that. But full-time risk advisor, making a run at this risk advisor thing.
How long was your earnout? I know they can vary between 3 to 5 years, but how long was your earnout period?
Ours was 3 years.
Okay, 36 months. Yeah.
Yep. So,
and tell me today what's going on. I know Bradley uses risk advisor. Tell me what y'all do. What for all these agents out there that don't know, like Aaron Robertson and other agents that don't know what risk advisor. I know what risk advisor is. I read some brief summaries about it in your bio, but tell these agents that are watching and listening to this right now, what is risk advisor?
Yeah, so for the past couple of years, we've been a digital intake platform for personal lines. Something that kind of differentiates us from some of the other ones in the marketplace is we built it around the conversation, built
Yeah.
it around rapport building, guiding the conversation. We call it conversational logic. What we have launched here this month is a new major piece of that. Our first step into AI called underwriting AI
Mm.
that will be a huge game changer for agencies and something that we've already seen a lot of success within Mappus and a couple other agencies that have been testing it. That kind of redefines what we're doing as a company.
And okay, let's deep dive. Now, when we talk about risk advisor, we're talking personal lines, correct?
That's correct.
And
Just on the
how
personal line side right now.
so what will this artificial intelligence capability? I would say I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 personal lines agents. And I'm pulling my pants down to show you my moon, like I did at the Greenwich Group conference a few weeks ago that Bradley and I. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that right now. Tell me, you and I get on a demo call with my personal lines agents. What's going to blow their bell bottoms up?
Yeah. So what we are doing with underwriting AI on the AI side of things is our system will allow you to upload your carrier guidelines for home, auto, and umbrella as of today.
Okay.
And so as you're doing the intake,
I'm listening. Keep talking.
yeah, as you're doing the intake, something that no matter how you do it inside your agency, you're doing that every single time for personal lines. We're underwriting AI actually starts to disqualify carriers. So we've got it set up that when you get to the review and send page, which is where you'll say, hey, if I need to send it to a VA, wholesale broker, rater, CRM,
Yeah.
wherever, you now have a green, yellow, red light. Green light, these carriers are good to go, no concerns, based on the data that you put in. Yellow light, this is going to be where you get prompted about sublimits. The closest our agency ever came to an E&O claim was a water damage limitation put on a policy because of the age of the home, and a newer producer thought it was a water backup and wasn't caught until a claim. So this is going to prompt your agents right as they're filling it out on the front end. Hey, this one's going to have a sub limitation. Inspection requirements, documents that are required if it needs a referral. And then red light is going to be, hey, it's ineligible because of X, Y, and Z. So that way you no longer waste any time going to carriers that don't want the business and don't accidentally place it with them, and it causes issues.
So okay. All right. Well, I've got no less than, for any account, I've got no less than 10 possible places it could be put. Do you have the integrations or the underwriting stuff for all? I mean, most carriers, you've got access to all that.
So the way we built it is to where you'll actually be the one to upload the documents, and we've done that for a couple reasons. One, it allows us to move quicker. There's no limitations based on who we work with; it's who you work with. Two, it also, I've served with a couple carriers on their advisory councils in the past, have conversations. 99% of carriers are perfectly fine with it, but we want to be conservative on the front end to not get you in trouble, to not get us in trouble about sharing these guidelines amongst agencies. And so
are you am I uploading the actual sample policies from these people or the underwriting guidelines from each one?
Underwriting guidelines, quick reference guidelines. We've also got it to where, like, one of our major carriers, there was some stuff that they wouldn't put in the guidelines. They would just put in the portal, so you can add custom knowledge to it. You can make carrier, like, agency guidelines if you want. Like, hey, I might have a carrier to write this, but I don't want this as an agency owner.
Yeah.
And we're going to disqualify it and put the note so you can put a script in there that says why you don't want your agency to write a piece of business, things like that.
That's it. That's one of the biggest training hurdle. Is this live? Is this live yet? This feature?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You thought I meant the episode.
Yeah, I
He's
did.
like,
think
hell,
you
I
did
don't
that,
know.
so.
It's your damn podcast.
The
hell?
that's one of the biggest training hurdles with newer people with us is them knowing where to go.
Yep.
So, Bradley, do you have so one of your personal lines agents back here? Let's say a prospect calls in today, or you get a prospect intake form somehow, some way. Are they required to do this with Risk Advisor before they go to the carrier site?
We use Risk Advisor for all of our intakes.
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it's because the main reason is we want the customer journey started the same way every single time. And we want to get the same data every single time and get it in a structured way every single time. Because when you do that, you can do things with that data. You know what I mean? That's essentially, we always had an intake form. It was always something I built. The reason I went with David, other than it being a great product, is I was just tired of maintaining that form. And I'd rather work with, if my form broke, I had to fix it, right? If David's form breaks, David has to fix it. It's never broke. But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where, if somebody calls in, that's where it starts. That's where things go first. To me, it seems like a big win would be getting like direct connections with the carriers, almost like Ask Kodiak.
Yep.
And then
that is our major goal in 2026. We've already started some initial conversations with some carriers, but as I was mentioning earlier, we wanted to start out on a conservative side. It is a little bit of like a one-time pain of having to upload those documents that you already have in a Google Drive or something like that somewhere. But wanted to be conservative to make sure that we weren't crossing over any lines with the carrier. But next step is to go to the carriers and, hey, you got an API? Anytime you make an update us via an API. If you don't, let's create a process where anytime you make a change, we receive it as Risk Advisor and we update your carriers for you, or your agencies for you, instead of the other way around.
And your pitch is just like, hey, this is going to feed more business to you.
What we ultimately believe is, and the numbers are already showing this a little bit, where for a carrier, the quote rate's going to go down, but the buying rate's going to go up.
Yeah.
And so the story we're able to share already, and we're going to continue to be able to share with carriers on the carrier side, is, hey, your underwriting expense per quote, we've already heard that's around $10 to $25 just to put the quote in the system for the carrier. And so if we can start helping you save money on that side of things with the carrier, then that allows them to be more effective, allows their underwriting expense ratio to go down. And it allows for more incentive on why they would also help push Risk Advisor on that side of things as well.
I've got an idea for you.
Let's hear it.
So you guys have an API connection to Agency Zoom.
Yep.
Do you know if let's say I put customer data into Risk Advisor and then it flows over to Agency Zoom, does Risk Advisor know if we bound that policy?
Not yet.
Okay. I have an idea for you.
Damn it, David. Get your shit together.
So Kenneth built this tool that we use, and it's basically it's a map of all of our customers. Okay. And what you can do is you can put an address in, okay, and it will map that address and it will show you all of the other customers we have around that address. And then you click on them and it shows you the carrier and the premium.
Yep.
And so we use that. I don't think it's fully rolled out yet, but we have some people using that to like get an indication of where to go first. What would be really cool is if Risk Advisor knew that this policy was bound, or we could somehow upload a book of business list or report. And then when a CSR, an account manager, or producer is adding data into Risk Advisor for a new quote, it's using AI on the back end to say, based on the policies you have on the books, this carrier is probably going to be a good fit. You have 15 policies in this area that fit this year built, square footage, whatever.
Yep.
And know that. And I'm sure you guys have thought of that. And then another cool thing would be if I lose on a deal, somehow getting that data, like, hey, your competitors have,
Yep.
you've quoted against 15 competitors and this has been the best carrier. You haven't bound it because they already had it. Whatever, you know what I mean? Because we always try to get current deck pages. And then if somebody cancels, we always try to get current deck page replacement, pages, that sort of thing. So having that data would, I think, be really cool. There's a million ways you can go with this.
Yeah, we have the ultimate long-term focus of this is not just underwriting AI, but sales AI.
Yeah.
With a lot of what you just mentioned, being thoughts that we're working towards, using that data to honestly even show like, hey, by every question you ask a customer, the impact it has on the closing ratio. One of the things with this as well is on the carrier side is to be able to work together with the agency, the carrier, even wholesale brokers on, hey, why should an agency receive an appointment? Carriers ask the wrong questions when it comes time to get an appointment. They ask about what's your in an AMS, but then when they give you the appointment, they don't care about what's in your AMS anymore. What they should care about is what you're quoting or what you have quoted over the last 18 months and you haven't sold that they won't. That way you can go after it together. So there's a lot of different ways. And one of the things that you mentioned that's super important to us is the data that you collect, making it that much more valuable and easier to use with these other tools. Whether it's Agency Zoom or another CRM or a side tool. One of the things that I would love to talk with Kenneth about is our open API. Allow it, like if there's benefits until we build it of exposing the API to allow him to do something with that on that side as well. But yeah, no, it's just the beginning for us when it comes to the AI side of things.
Hey, David, I got the $1 million question. Now, all I do is represent the 45,000 independent agents that are out there, plus a lot of the captive agents that listen to our show as well. And they're all sitting there right now thinking the same thing that I'm thinking. I just let Gio out in the parking lot have my American Express card to buy a brand new Ford Raptor. So I ain't got no money. But what does this cost? Is this a bunch of money? Is this thousands of dollars? Because if I'm an independent agent listening to this show right now, and I've listened to all the blah, 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 and it does this, it does that, and it's great. Bradley uses it, and Bradley's, real tech forward. But I'm thinking, man, I got $16 in my checking account. I can't afford this. What's this cost, Scott?
Yeah, so our standard plan starts at $299 per month. That includes 5 users, and then it's a per user cost after that 5. Big thing that we do with that is include a good bit of data enrichment. So it's going to help pre-fill the form, whether that's the client facing or the agent facing with property details.
If you're connected to Agency Zoom, a lot of that, if they put the prospect in Zoom, should flow over to the form, right?
Yep. So you can import from Agency Zoom. The same thing, like if you're like on Easy Links, we have a integration on that side of things, as well as some of the other Rater CRMs and AMSs as well.
But there is a time commitment up front because Scott is going to have to so are we talking home, auto, or both?
On the underwriting AI, it works with home, auto, and umbrella.
So I'm going to have to take the time on the front end to get these downloaded into the Risk Advisor portal for iProtect, all the underwriting criteria for each carrier. Yep,
that is correct. So whether it's you or someone on your team or a VA, you'll need to download and then upload those until we're able to make those direct connections.
I'm not going to have to do any of that because I'm going to hire Kenneth away from Bradley. There might be a little bit of a hiccup there with the podcast for a few weeks till we get that worked out. But once I get him hired, man, he'll already have that shit figured out.
Kenneth's contract buyout is right up there with James Franklin. So
I love it. I love it.
I've got a question. So my favorite type of entrepreneur.
Here we go.
Let me tell you a story. I knew a guy one time who had a dream. It was an entrepreneur, had a dream to be a DJ, like radio DJ.
Hell yeah.
And the radio station wouldn't let him, the local radio station wouldn't let him be a DJ. And so he started his own radio.
You mean wouldn't let him like be on the radio
Correct.
behind the microphone?
Correct.
Got it.
So he started his own radio station.
Damn.
And tried to put that radio station out of just to be. I love people that work in an industry, see a problem, and then say, I'm going to go do this. And you are that. I mean, you were an agent, you're an agency owner, you saw a problem, and you said, you know what, I'm going to go do this. So two-parter, A, you know, what happened that led you to start Risk Advisor? And we kind of put the cart before the horse a little bit. But what led you to start Risk Advisor? Was there like a moment, you know, was there an inflection point, so to speak, that you were like, yeah, we got to go do this? B, what's been the biggest surprise or takeaway now that you're kind of on the other side of the industry? And maybe are there misconceptions that agents have about the tech side of things?
Yeah. So the biggest reason why it started out, we, like most agencies, had like a fillable PDF. So our process is
Most
we always lead in the
most
conversation.
agencies aren't even that advanced.
True.
Yeah. Brenda's got her notebook over there, her spiral notebook composition.
You are currently describing I Protect Insurance and Financial Services.
There you go. We always believe in leading with the conversation. So we use that fillable PDF to kind of guide the conversation loosely. And then here's the best part is we would take that fillable PDF and transpose it over to another fillable PDF and send both of those to our VAs to do the quoting. And then the VA was responsible for putting it into Agency Zoom, putting it into our rater, into our carrier systems, things like that. And so it really just started out like, there's got to be something that does this for me, that we can just buy instead of building. I tried to buy before. I probably sat on 15 demos, some inside the insurance industry, a lot outside, tested out a bunch of different form builders. Originally built the first version of this on Jotform with a little bit of code that I learned in high school. And then we used that for about a year. And up until that point, there was never, hey, I'm going to build this to go sell it to other agents. It was, hey, I want to make a better process for myself and then also my sales team that I led at Mappus. And once I started seeing the uptick in my personal career, full year before I did about $450,000 of personal lines premium. Full year after I did about $1 million plus of personal lines premium. And then we saw that with the team as well, where at minimum between 4 other producers, we saw a 27% increase. And a lot of that came from just boosting efficiency, but creating a repeatable process that just made it, hey, this is exactly what to do, which questions to ask every single time. And then as I started jumping into it, I was like, you know what, this is something that can be helpful for other agents. Let's look into, I actually tried to white label another solution that was in the marketplace for a while. And they told me no. Got to tell that CEO that earlier this year, and he just kind of laughed about that his partner had turned me down on white labeling it. But as we started building it out, I guess kind of answer the second part of your question when it comes to misconceptions. That's an interesting one. The first thing that comes to mind for me is like when we started getting into auto insurance, this is still on my side. Like I knew state specific coverages were a thing. Like we wrote in a couple different states, but I did not realize how chaotic every different state is. Like anytime I hop on a demo with a agency in Michigan, I just see all the state specific auto coverages drop down for Michigan. And I just like my eyes glaze over. Um, but on the agent side, um, I think it's, hey, I asked for this feature. It sounds super simple.
Yeah.
You should have that to me by like 2 days. Like, and that's being generous. Like most of them are like, can I have that tomorrow? And that was a learning curve for myself. Like I would pass on early on to our dev teams, like, hey, like can we change how the phone field looks? And it's like, hey, it's not only just changing what future ones look like, but we also have to make sure that in everything in the database still works. And oh, by the way, we integrate with 7 different systems. We got to make sure that they receive it okay, so that way it doesn't break on that situation. So I, I think that's a
Well, you
lame
have to.
answer to your question there, because that was a good question, but I don't
No,
think it's a great answer.
that was
But
the answer I was expecting. Yeah, that's having built my own tech before, or hired people to build my own tech. It's something. Things can sound really simple, but be really expensive and complicated.
yeah,
And for you, and I don't think you meant, you still want people to give you recommendations.
100%.
But what it's almost like, we were talking about golf before we came on the air. When you first start playing golf, like if you picked up golf today,
it'd be
you are
awful.
going to have 800,000 people give you advice. People that play golf love to give new golfers advice. And what I always tell new golfers is you have to pick and choose who you listen to.
Yep.
And a good rule of thumb is for any level of golf, if they can't beat you, don't take their advice. And when in your shoes, you have to be really intentional with who you listen to and who you don't listen to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where are they coming from? Like, okay, there's some people that ask for features. Yeah, that's it. Where it gets muddy is if it's like a feature that's only going to help this agency.
Yeah.
And that's where, you don't want to build custom iterations and all that sort of stuff. You don't want to change something
Yeah.
for everybody else. It's like when we built our Raider, Chris May that I built it with, we had an MVP in like 6 weeks. And he said, why is this so easy? And I said, because we are building it for us.
Yep.
If we were building this to sell, we're trying to build this so it hits 80% of the market. That's a lot taller task because you're building it for a bunch of people. And then you're going to get those people on and they're going to make recommendations, and you try if this, then that. And it gets, so my advice to you, David, is just only listen to Portal Insurance. Don't listen to anybody else's recommendations.
Hey,
that's where I'm going with that.
I will say a great example of feedback that after we kind of thought through it was something that Kenneth passed on about our quick send feature, where at any point, like, he wanted data into Agency Zoom. We've expanded that from Agency Zoom to Gaia, to Easy Links, and expanding it over to a couple of other integrations where for the longest time, the Mappus process, the Mappus way was the quoting process, the CRM process does not start until full intake has been completed, because we do that on the first call. If we're not going to chase you for intake, but that's not how majority of agencies think. They want whatever they can get in their CRM, which makes sense. And so that piece of feedback was a very specific scenario for a specific agency. But once we started thinking through it and started asking some of our other users, it was very clear that that was something that was very much wanted. And so it made that was one of our best releases this year when it comes to feedback of what we put out in the world, and it came from an agency's feedback.
Hey, David, I need you and Rand to pay attention for just a second. Bradley, I need you to listen as well. Little something you don't know about me. I'm a good idea machine, and I only spit out billion-dollar ideas. So the 4 of us, I'll let each one of you invest in this business as a billion-dollar idea machine. I have come up and solved a problem that the whole world has. Are you guys ready to be billionaires?
Let's do
David,
it.
Yeah, always.
Do you want to be a billionaire, David?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So, Rand, are you listening? I travel all over the world. I went to 4 cities in 4 weeks in September. I stay in hotels. I'm in a hotel right now. I'm in a Hilton Garden Inn paying like $220 $20 a night.
And you're having to listen
And
to
that son of a bitch
jackhammers.
is tore from one end to the other up because Travelers or Safeco or Nationwide's paying to have the hotel completely refurbished. Long story. Here's the idea. Every single hotel that I go to on each floor has the shittiest ice machine that I have ever seen in my entire life. Every one of them is exactly the same.
And it wakes the whole floor up.
It's got the ice. The ice in it is like 2 degrees below what it would be if it was just water. So as soon as you take your little bucket in there and you stick it under the thing and then push the button, you know, the brown button where it comes out, it's already so wet that by the time you get it back to your room, it's pretty much just water.
Mm-hmm.
We come up with this really sleek machine, and the front of it says Perfect Ice. And I was going to call it rat turd ice, but I realized that might cut down on the sales.
But the funny thing is, I know exactly what kind of ice you're talking about.
Yeah, I call it rat turd ice. And I was going to call the ice machine rat turd ice. But then I got thinking about that, and I was like, well, rat turd ice is a little bit over the top, right? A little on the nose. So we call it Perfect Ice. It's got this like real sleek silver machine. And y'all, we just go around the country. The four of us fan out. I'll take the Southwest, you take the Southeast, you take the Northeast, you take the Midwest. And we go sell Perfect Ice and replace all these shitty ice machines that are in like high-end resorts and hotels.
So, I don't want to poo-poo on your idea, but do you know why they don't have the rat turd ice?
No.
So when we built our house, we put an ice machine in, with a little door.
Fancy.
And it cost $1,500. For me to get the rat turd ice, which is what I wanted, it was going to be like $5,000.
Oh my gosh.
The mechanism that makes that ice is insanely expensive.
But that's why we have David. We send him to like China or Korea, and he negotiates and he's like, "Hey, do you realize how many rat turd ice machines we're going to sell?" And they're like, "Yeah, we'll give you these for $800 instead of the retail price."
You know what I think? That's a great idea. You know what I think every time I see one of those machines? I think about
I'm about to have water come out of the bottom of it.
I think
basically
about King of the Hill. They're on vacation, and the mom looks at the son and says, "Hey, Bobby, go get some ice. I want water to drink in the morning."
100%.
Yeah.
Because 6 minutes after you get that ice bucket in your room, it's just water.
Yeah. Hey, David, I'm going to poke the bear real quick.
Uh-oh.
Have you guys looked at integrating with LexisNexis?
Yeah. We've
I'm
reached
referencing a specific LinkedIn post.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
They're probably
I've
like,
not heard any comments or feedback on that one, unfortunately. But
I've had at least 150 people that work at LexisNexis view my LinkedIn profile.
That's fantastic. When are they coming on the podcast?
Probably never.
I thought favorite word. I thought LexisNexis' favorite word was no.
It is.
It is. Yes.
They don't like money over there. Hey, LexisNexis, we understand you don't like money. It's fine. Just stay in your lane. Go ahead. Sorry.
The problem is, I think it's the opposite, and of course that's the answer. But the current, like, when we've reached out to them, I've reached out to them 3 times, had a conversation 1.5 times, but
they hung up on you, and so,
it was a good conversation. I'll give them that. The problem is they're so embedded in the carrier flow. And the rater flows that unfortunately they see us as a competitor to their own product. And the reason there, at least from my understanding, I would love to have a conversation with somebody to help me understand differently if someone from LexisNexis is listening. But the problem is they get to charge every single time that the same data is ordered by multiple carriers.
Right.
And different carriers handle that differently with their agents. And with our system helping you cut down on how many carriers you have to go to, unfortunately, it's something that does impact their profit because the same data is not being sold multiple times.
Yeah.
Again, that's my understanding. If you're someone from LexisNexis listening or watching this, I would love to be proven wrong, and I would love to have a detailed conversation about that.
So
They stopped taking my phone calls. I used to call them about once every 3 months with an idea. And finally, I think they put my picture up beside everybody's phone, and they're like, if this guy calls, do not answer the phone.
Let me, like, when you go through the process to get your note ID, which is the most freaking governmental reg tape.
God. It's like getting a driver's license.
They treat it like they think criminals are going to break into an insurance agency and run an insurance score fraudulently.
Yes.
Like that's what the criminals are going to do. They're going to go run people's insurance score. But
it's ridiculous.
So let me just loop everybody in. So I view Scott and I's role in the insurance industry is we are the only reason I still do this podcast, other than hanging out with Scott, is we are trying to be like the champions of the independent agent or just agents in general, like the Pied Piper, and anytime you see me being a jerk or what looks like me being a jerk to someone on social media, it's because I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to have the backs of agents, and or someone is so wrong in the advice they're giving that it needs to be called out because there's going to be a young, impressionable agent that's going to see it and take it as gospel. Those are the only two scenarios that I'm a jerk online. Well, the CEO of LexisNexis post on LinkedIn 3 weeks ago. I'm not going to read it, but basically how great his company is, right? And
in a nutshell.
And I give them credit. Like, they were revolutionary, I'm sure, when they came out with that.
They print money.
And I see that David commented on it. And so I commented and I said, I mean this respectfully, Bill. And I did. I do. Do you guys have any idea how difficult you make it for new agencies to sign up and how unhelpful the employees of LexisNexis are during said process? That comment on the post got 12,643 impressions. Just my comment, not the post.
I can't believe you didn't delete it.
And so I did a literal, guys, and we're just talking about the note ID. We're not talking about all the other stuff. I did a literal 2-minute search for 120 seconds. I searched in Insurance Soup and IOA just the words note ID, and I screenshotted some of the comments and replied under my comment.
Right.
Has anyone ever had issues getting their LexisNexis note ID? My application's been denied. No idea. Thanks. LexisNexis note ID may be worse than DMV. Has anyone ever had an issue getting their LexisNexis note ID? My application's been, I'm not going to read it, but like it was this and this. There was literal people in these posts saying they cannot feed their families because they cannot get a LexisNexis note ID. And when you call LexisNexis, they are not helpful. It took me, Portal Insurance, we were in business 2 years. We had already changed locations before we got our note ID. Like that's it. And so my comment
was, what are they doing?
I was not trying to be a jerk. I was trying to say like, hey,
are you aware?
Are you aware this is what your customers are saying? And B, you literally got folks out here saying they can't feed their families. And oh, by the way, I changed locations. And part of the reason I changed locations is you guys, they had an issue with the address at my first office and they wouldn't tell me what the problem was. So like, hey, this address is not the way we want it. And there was a suite number. And they literally, and then when I did my inspection, the guy asked me where my filing cabinets were. And then he asked me that they requested another meeting after the fact. And it was like, we've got a problem.
Can I ask a
question? And I'm like, okay, what's the problem? They're like, your business name is Portal LLC, but the sign out front says Portal Insurance.
Wow. Hey, can I ask a question?
Anyway.
When these carriers pass on like the cost to me for like an auto,
MVR.
MVR and all that, they're just passing on their cost from LexisNexis.
Is that coming
right?
from LexisNexis or the MVRs come from LexisNexis?
What's coming from LexisNexis? Is it MVRs?
MVR, Clue. They have property, county assessor data, some roof data, some stuff like that, which is all the things that we would love to be able to offer inside of the Risk Advisor app. But the problem, something that kind of stuck out to me, Bradley, is the problem is you're not the customer.
Correct.
The carrier is the customer.
As soon as I said customer,
Yep.
But if I'm this guy and I'm like, there's literal people that say they can't feed their families because of something I'm doing, you know, and I don't know if you've noticed this, David, but a lot of carriers are moving away from LexisNexis. Like a lot of the InsurTech carrier, it's a Hazard Hub and some other folks, and you have to disrupt yourself as a business owner. You cannot stick to it's the way that we've always done it mentality, because eventually somebody's going to slip up and disrupt you.
Wait a minute. If I'm the son of a bitch paying the $800 a month for that, am I not the customer?
It's the carrier.
And that's also one of the things that can get agencies in trouble, is if they order it with one carrier and then take that data and then move it to another carrier and re-enter it into those other systems. That's where a carrier can get onto you, because hey, you're taking data that like, even though they're charging it back, it's still their expense. They own the data. I know that, but everybody always does it.
Everybody does it. Everybody does it. If you've got a carrier that doesn't charge, where are you going to pull it from? The one that does or the one that doesn't?
Yep.
Hey, I got one last question, David, and I got to let you go because I got to go out. Gio's outside wanting $2,000.
No, he's not. I have a good news. I went and fought Gio, and I got your credit card back.
Yeah, but I ain't no telling what's on that side.
There you go. I got it back.
Hey, I got the most important question of the day, David. Are you ready for it?
Let's do it.
I need you to get clear eyes, full heart with me for
Can't lose.
It was warm when I picked it up. It was hot because he had been swiping the hell out of it.
See you out there working on my car right now?
I didn't see. It was on Shelby's desk when I walked out there.
Most important question of the day. David.
Yes.
How many times a day, a week, a month, and then a year does somebody walk up to you and ask this question? Are you Luke Combs?
I don't think I've had that one.
Really?
No, I mean, normally I keep the beard a little bit shorter. We're getting into the front end of winter beard season for me, so I'm starting to grow it out a little bit.
Gotta get your winter coat on. Get ready for winter.
Yep. But I mean, as soon as you said that, I can see why you asked. That's funny though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's different, but with that hat on and the shirt and that beard, does he not look just like Luke Combs right now?
I can see it.
Hey,
unbelievable, man! I appreciate you being on the show today.
Hey, it's been an absolute honor. This is something that I've been very excited for a long time.
I've got your cell and your email. I'm going to set something up when I get back to the shitbox hotel I'm staying at tonight in my shitty car that probably won't run. I'll probably have to walk back to the hotel for next week for us to get on with my personal lines team. And I think this is something we need to do. We use Agency Zoom. That's an easy connection for us. So I think we're going to do it. Is there some big long 4-year contract that I'm going to be tied into, or?
No, month to month. I hated signing a contract as an agency owner, so I'm not going to make you do it. Every InsurTech advisor tells me I'm stupid for that. My corny insurance
television down.
That's okay.
My corny insurance joke though is that if you pay in full, we give you a little bit discount, but it is like a fully earned premium, so no prorated refund on that. But we do have a monthly option.
Oh, that's fine. I don't care about that. As long as you don't tie me into a 3-year contract and we're got our hand up our ass and not using it, and I'm paying $299 a month for freaking 6 years or whatever, which a bunch of them want to do.
We want you paying for it because you're using it. It's making a difference in your agency.
Well, I appreciate you, brother. And if any of these other agents listening to this right now need my American Express, no, I'm kidding.
I made sure and turned it the other way when I handed it to you.
3792. No.
Oh boy.
Tell them where to go if they want to. They don't have your cell phone. They don't have your email address. Where would they go to? And by the way, before you sons of bitches start in on me, David, how much am I getting paid for this podcast?
Not a single thing.
Not one damn dime. And as I tell all of you every single time, I don't care if you do it or not, but you ought to at least try it and see if it moves the ball one step closer, 1 foot closer to that goal line that we're all trying to get to. But you know what? Don't use it. Don't use it, because I know you sons of bitches will be emailing. This isn't as good as. Anyway, where do they go if they want to sign up for a demo?
Yep. Just riskadvisor.insure. Riskadvisor.com was $50,000, and we're not trying to blow a bunch of money like a lot of the companies that were at a couple conferences the last couple of weeks.
We got an intruder in the behind you.
Oh, thank you so much. I got a Pop-Tart for dinner. So
All right.
Hey,
but
we should have had her on the show
finishing
too.
up, baby. But
Bye,
yeah,
sweet girl.
riskadvisor.insure. Check out the demo page there, and I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Twitter's for bad sports takes,
Right.
and complaining about my old Tesla. So if you want to see those conversations, you can go hang out there.
Awesome.
All right.
Guys, you were listening to the Insurance Guys podcast, and as I end every episode, rewards come from action, not discussion. Get your ass out from behind that desk today. Quit shuffling paperwork. Stop doing TPS reports. Stop doing all this crazy shit. Stop being fake busy and taking your dog to the vet and then, going down and getting the spark plugs changed in your car and all this other crazy shit. Go build relationships. Become the mayor of your village. Make money for your family, for your wife, for your husband, for your kids' college fund, for your parents and your in-laws out there that are struggling like mine are. Go make money for them. Write good business for the agencies that you represent, and write good business for the carriers that you represent. Bradley Flowers,
Thanks,
I love
man.
you.
Thanks, David.
David, we love
Thank
you
you
too,
all.
brother. Hang in there. Guys, you were listening to the Insurance Guys podcast, and we love each one of you. Thank you so much for being a part of our family, and we'll see you back next time. Take care.